So I'm out here walking this morning and I'm trying to decide if I want to do a second live stream each week. I do one on Thursday at 6 o'clock and a couple hours before Ken Heroin. Oh, thanks, Mikey, for that. So I'm out here walking this morning and I'm trying to decide whether the world is ready for a second live stream each week from me, and I'd like a little help with the decision about whether or not to do it. Now, you know, I do my Thursday live stream before Ken Heron's show and I go on at 6 o'clock, which is not the greatest time. It's really early for anybody that lives in middle to the western country. I get a nice attendance, but a lot of guys just can't make it then. So I've been looking around for another time slot, and I've come up with the fact that after Mel 400 AGL does his live stream on Sunday, it's a prime time spot after that you know, doesn't really seem to be very popular. So if I do a second live stream, I don't want it to be the same as the one I do on Thursday, which is usually a free-flowing panel type of live stream where we chat about different subjects. I thought I'd like to do one that was more focused on a certain subject, and it seems that lately, with all the FPV drones and fixed-wing airplanes I'm building, that seems to be a lot of interest in the technical side of the hobby and the craft, and a lot of questions about building electronics, techniques, soldering, flight controllers, transmitters, goggles, analog, digital, all these different things. And I thought it would be maybe more interesting to have a show where we address the more technical side of the sport and hobby, and left the FAA problems and politics and all the rest of that stuff for another time. If you think that's something that you might enjoy, I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. If you would, put your thoughts down in the comments below, whether you think it's necessary to do something like this, and whether or not you'd be interested, and even more important, maybe what topics you might want to talk about, or things that you'd like to learn or help me learn even more about drones, camera drones, FPV drones, fixed wing model aircraft, RC in general, or anything along those lines. Beautiful day, God, no clouds in the sky, it's just gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to going out and flying this afternoon. Okay.
See how these new props are.
Hey everybody, Mitch, old guy in a drone, and I actually found here in Melbourne some genuine, bona fide FPV pilots. And one of them's over here named Josh.
Or Skydock.
Skydock.
Skydock FPV.
And
YouTube coming soon.
we're going to see if we can't get Josh to come into my chat room here on Thursday night, say hi to all of us. And he's got probably a lot more accomplished a pilot than I am, and it's a pleasure to finally meet up with some of these guys. But he's got his niece out here today, and they've learning how to fly, and he's got a whole collection of drones here. Terrific.
Get them ready. All right, let's see how this one does.
And they like to fly around under these trees, so I'm going to go hide under the bench. No, I better not, because they'll probably be flying under the bench.
He does that once in a while too. What, flies under the bench?
Yeah.
That's why it's fun, man.
Whoa, what the hell was that?
I don't know. What is it?
I never heard anything sound quite like that.
It's like a pop.
Wow.
Oh, yep, you're right. Put the prop on backwards. That's twice as bad.
I'm surprised it didn't flip out over the
Nah, it
off
won't
the
go
bench.
nowhere. Rookie mistake.
Oh, you got those props out?
Yeah, no, props in.
Well,
or props out, sorry.
Props out, yeah.
Yep.
So those are all backwards.
Huh?
They're all backwards.
Yep, because I was thinking it was her drone, props in.
You know what? I have one drone that's props in, and I decided props out rather, and I decided, you know what, props in is fine as long as they're all the same.
Until you get them confused, yeah.
Yeah, until you forget which one you got set which way.
That's it. So I got into thinking, because what I do is I normally do my 6-cell batteries or my 6-cell drones props out, and my 4 cells I do prop in. Why, I don't know. I just always did it.
Yeah,
like that.
you know, I'm still trying to come to terms with, is there really that big a difference if you're not
the only thing right, because that's the only thing is if you do you know, props out, you know, if you run into like a tree or something, it'll bounce off.
It pushes you off. Yeah, that's an advantage. I never bought the dirt in the camera argument, but I do buy that argument where it is spinning to actually repel you from whatever instead of trying to suck it in.
Well, I've seen it. You know, I've had it happen where you go to fly through something and you hit something and it'll suck you right into it.
Do you notice any difference in the way they fly one way or the other?
I don't, honestly. I don't think it changes the flight characteristics much. I just think it's preference, honestly. Like if you're more of a freestyle than a racer, you're probably going to fly with, you know, I don't know. Even a racer, I would think that maybe you could bounce off of, but they're going so fast that if you hit anything, you know. I
have no desire to race. If I was 20 years old, maybe, but
me either, yeah.
You saw the way I like to fly.
Oh, yeah.
Around. I like to fly around.
I like doing that too. I like sunset cruises.
Oh yeah.
You know, out here is nice too because you got plenty of room. Then you fly up and you get to see the city, you know.
Well, I started in the drone hobby as a camera, you know, flying Mavics and making pretty drone footage.
Doing the camera.
Yeah, doing the camera thing.
The nice camera thing.
And not only, you can do some really gorgeous stuff with it, but it's not really flying. And my RC background says, you know, you're not really having any fun flying these things. You're not really flying them. You're just pushing them around. And
right.
So I said, I think, you know.
Yeah, I want to go on an FPV wing journey though.
That's a whole different deal.
Whole different ballgame.
It is.
Do you have a stand you got to set up and stuff too, right?
No, I just use the goggles. I have a field receiver.
The analog.
Yeah, I use the analog, but I'm going to put a DJI in one, and the reason is that in iNav. If you've ever looked at iNav, they have just come out with the latest release, which actually will now display the OSD information in the digital DJI goggles. That's just this week that came out.
Nice.
And with iNav, you do want some of that information in the goggles. You want to know what mode it's thrown itself into, whether it's return to home or whatever you do. You know, you want to know your distance from home. You want to know, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Not that you need that stuff to fly, but it's nice to know.
But it's nice to have it, because once you start getting out over things and everything starts looking the same.
Yeah.
I've had that problem when I flew into mountains. Flying the mountains with no navigation, dude, on FPV, and then you're like, and then where am I?
And then your signal in your goggles starts to go away, and you go, oh shit.
You have no idea. You're like, I've done it. I've panicked.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Whoa. I think you got enough power in that thing. Into the trees. Cool.
These props are nice.
Very cool. So I just got done flying the iNav equipped Tyro 129 here. However, I have no evidence that I actually flew it because I didn't have a camera in there, and I forgot to put the record on the DVR. So take my word for it. I did fly
I
it.
saw it fly.
Thank you. Did an auto land, and it landed exactly where it took off, right on the spot. Unbelievable. And we got a couple little other quads we're going to fly here today, a Marmot and an Acrobrat with the DJI digital system in it. So here's a flight with my 3-inch Acrobrat with the DJI digital system in it. Enjoy.